Jennifer here. Today we're going to be talking about the importance of classical music for your children. And this is a topic that I am very passionate about. As you know, I love classical music. We play it all the time in our home, and there's a reason why I do this. So we're going to discuss that in today's video. I feel that much of today's popular music is very dumbed down. It has those repetitive beats that you can't get out of your head. You know when you can't get a song out of your head? It's usually because that beat is just repetitive and it goes over and over and over again. Plus, on top of that, a lot of the lyrics in today's most popular songs are just downright wrong. And you will notice this. You might not notice this. Let's say you're in your car by yourself and you're listening to popular music and it's fine. But you'll notice it if your children listen to it and if your children start to sing those songs, and you'll be horrified, right? The songs that you loved in your youth, and suddenly, you know, your child singing like a song by Madonna or something. You probably know the one I'm talking about. And you think, oh my gosh, this is not good, right? Well, I think that there is obviously a place for popular music, definitely, but there's also a place for classical music, and a lot of people are foregoing classical music. It's becoming a dying art form among, you know, the younger generations. They don't listen to it as much. So in this video, I'd like to make a case for why you should listen to it. If you play classical music in your home from your child's earliest age, they will develop an appreciation for it, and it will bring positive connotations to them. I listened to classical music in our home when we were growing up, and that's why I like it so much as an adult. It might also inspire them to play an instrument like the piano and to play classical music themselves on it, which of course is great stimulation for the brain. So I have some tips on how you can play classical music on a regular basis, and I have some notes here. So you should definitely play it in your home as well as in your car when you're with your children. Make it a point to play it regularly so that they get used to it. Play it whether you feel like listening to it or not. If you wait till you feel like listening to it, you probably aren't going to play it, especially if you don't particularly like classical music, but you'd like to develop you know, a love for it. You've got to play it regularly, whether you feel like listening to it or not. Really immerse yourself in the world of classical music. So not only listen to it, but study up on the composers' lives. These composers were true geniuses, and it's so evident in their work. I mean, you listen to their work and you think, wow, I mean, what a work of art. How amazing to do that, right? But when you research these composers' lives, you realize what fascinating lives they led. Did you know that Mozart composed his first piece at 6 years old? I mean, that is incredible. 6 years old. Think about what 6-year-olds are doing today. He wrote his first opera in 1770 when he was only 14 years old. I have a few other interesting facts that I wrote down here. Chopin, who is my favorite composer, was composing and writing poetry at age 6, and he gave his first public concerto performance at the age of 8. So to make money in his early career, Chopin used to teach piano lessons, and Chopin was a huge fan of Bach, so he used to make his students play Bach. Another fun fact is that Johann Sebastian Bach had 20 children. 20 children. I wonder how he even had time to compose music, but he did. And many of his children went on to become famous composers as well. So I will leave a list below of some of my favorite classical CDs that would be good introduction albums to get into, and great ones to play in your home. You know, I mentioned recently that I love listening to Bach for breakfast. There's also Beethoven for bedtime. Those are really fun CDs to get into. Chopin is my favorite composer, and but you know, I mean, any of these works are amazing. So I wrote down one. Where is it? The other day I was listening to Beethoven, and it was Beethoven's, let's see, Piano Sonata number 14 in C sharp minor, Moonlight. So you know the very famous Moonlight Sonata. Well, this is the third part to it, the Presto Agitato. Okay, I'll link it below. This is the type of music. If you've never really gotten into classical music, listen to this song. Just put it on and stop everything, okay? And listen to this song, and you will see the absolute genius, majesty behind it. Put this on while you're, doing the dishes or cleaning the house. It will inspire you. This is another fact. When I play classical music, my children work longer and they work harder. They also will play longer. So if they're playing together and I put on some classical music, they go because they listen to the music and they get into it. There's something to it. It's just the work of geniuses. Another resource I want to tell you about is Classical KUSC, which I have talked to you about before, and they are a listener-supported radio station. In Southern California, it's 91.5, I believe, but you can also listen to them online. So I'm a sustaining member of Classical KUSC, and it's just a free service. The DJs are wonderful. They have these beautiful voices, and they're so knowledgeable, and you can just hear a plethora of good work and be introduced to so many new works. So that's just a wonderful resource as well. So in this modern day where everything seems to be so stressful and you just kind of want to escape sometimes, listening to classical music is a wonderful way to go. I hope that this video inspires you today to play classical music for your children so that they bring it with them to the next generation and they don't lose it. I'd love to hear your thoughts. What are your thoughts on modern music, on the top 40 songs that are on the radio today? What do you think about them? Who's your favorite composer? Let me know in the comment section below, and your comment could be chosen as Comment of the Week on the Daily Connoisseur. Thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you soon. Bye.